exemption or the deduction from me under the Income Tax Act, we still don't understand.
Yes, and yes, they are central laws.
Yeah, true, sir.
When it is overriding the income tax.
So why this has to be brought out here in the Income Tax Act itself? In fact, I am paying it, and it is such a horrendous law. In fact, such a draconian law. In fact, I will never get an deduction for that even in the subsequent year when I make the payment. So if it can be done under as per 139(1), if you are filing before due dates, if you have made the payment, please allow it. It is logical and it is according to us, it is a pragmatic way of interpreting the law in this way. Up to assessment year, up to this particular Supreme Court judgment, and even before the amendment which has been brought out in Finance Act 2021, it was like that, because it was allowed up to the due date of filing the returns under Section 139(1). Consequently, this is taken out. This is taken away from us, and it should be amended. So from your sources, it should be going to the Finance Ministry such that it will be retrospective. I mean, that too, the amendment has been done retrospectively. I mean, the courts have said that even subsequently, which were earlier, the already 143(1) orders were made with a demand, and even for the prior to the amendment itself, that period also it is covered. So this is again grievance from our side. So it should. Sir was saying, even in fact, TDS provision 194 Q and other things, so 50 crores and the purchase. This information is already captured in the annual AIS reports, because GST law is already there. So why to have the duplicacy of this kind of a provisions? We still don't understand the TDS under this purchase and sales. This information is captured. If the amendment has to be brought out in that particular section, saying that if the assessee is already registered under GST law, then there is no need for this particular complying with this particular section of a TDS, because TDS is one way of capturing the transactions at the source itself. I mean, why the tax liability is coming, not coming, that's a later point. But TDS is no sham transaction to take place. If as at the origin of the transaction itself, the transactions gets recorded in one of the other portal, or the department comes to know about that information of so and so transaction is taking place. That is already happening under the GST law. Why again it has to happen under the income tax law itself? So it needs to be looked into. There are several such issues. In fact, if I go on taking those kind of things, even sir, condonation of really 190 and to be also, there are some applications pending before the honorable commissioners in the office for a long time. Unduly, I mean, it is they are not given on time. So we request you please look into that matters also. In addition to that, there are several points which we will be one-to-one. I will be discussing with you, and we will be discussing with you. In the meantime, I thought it fit that so many good gathering is there, so many chartered accountants are there, so many tax practitioners are there, so many industrialists are there. So if they have any queries, they can raise it so that we can get the answers from the office mob itself. Thank you so much. Sir, any questions?
Good that you have pointed out all these things. So first I will take you the last one, 119.2. It is pending with my office. Certainly, I regret that it was not considered earlier. So lots of things are pending. But I assure you that after end of this month, I will be starting it, disposing it. By another 5-6 months, we will be all disposing it. That assurance, because that is in my hand. Certainly, that will be disposing it. And regarding other things, 43B, small scale industry thing, you know that these things we can just compile it. 43B, 139(8)(a), last date of return of income, ESIPF, TDS on purchase on sales. Please give us your representation from our side. With our recommendation, we can forward it to our principal CC and to the board. That is the only assurance on the other aspect that I can tell you. Please, that budget exercise will be starting after this current parliamentary election. But before that, certainly even our team from the LNR had come, which are proposing the amendment of the act. They have taken feedback from the department. Certainly, I don't know whether they will be interacting with the body here in Hubli, but at least that assurance I can give you that you give us a proposal, soft copy as well as a hard copy with our recommendations. We will forward it to the board. Because these are not the hand that we can give to any assurance. Only regarding 1192, I can say that will be taking up. I have already discussed with my headquarters. And actually, this March, we are quite tied up regarding some time barring 263, 264. So we will not be taking up in March, but certainly April onwards, we will be taking it up, disposing it all.
Good evening to all of you. Respected principal CITs, Arun Kumar, now the galaxy of officers on the dais and off the dais, and my dear business friends. In addition to our Cecil Kulkarni who pointed out some issues, I'd like to raise three issues. One is direct tax Vivad Se Vishwas settlement scheme has come. People have taken it for granted and they have honored the commitment, paid the tax. Even after issuing form number 5, the refunds are not given. So for refunds, they are asking you have to post all the challenge in the online and get them through CPC. That is right. But what was the situation? If assessment is for 2000 or 2000, 2001, there were manual payment of the challenge, manual payment of the tax. Some are not posted in the voltas. It is not possible for anybody other than the income tax department to post those things in the CPC or in the voltas, whatever it is. So as a result, when the assurance of an immediate refund was there under the DTVSV, even in my case, there are two refunds which are very high value. One is 2.3 crores, another is 1.05 crores. 1.05 crores. It is a hard-earned working capital that has been deployed to pay the taxes. On one hand, the banks are telling you have utilized our working capital, so you repay the amount. Because banks are not giving any time for that. So they have already done that exercise. But department is not able to address to these issues. These are the two illustrative cases I am telling in my own case. One is 2.3 crores, another 1.05 crores. So the number of visits I have made, they are telling your some of the not posted on the voltas. I don't have anything. I don't have any action on that. Several times we have visited. Not gone to High Court for challenging that issue. Because of a good faith and a good bonding relation with the department that they will honor. Form 5 has come, sir. And the Form 5 come, immunity is finally granted. Nobody can tinker on Form 5 because it has been issued by the highest authorities. So therefore, my request would be to have a coordination with the Central SACS Principal CIT or your ultimate policy are at Bangalore to see that the Form 5s when have been issued, you have to issue the refund immediately. So there is unnecessarily they are asking us to post a challenge. You can't do it because it is a voltage is a mirror for us, as I said again. So kindly look into this issue because the honest taxpayers we have relied on the settlement scheme. They have paid the huge amount of tax. They are definitely getting affected. That is one point because we are in the process of building harmony between department and the taxpayers. So harmony should be strengthened but not diluted. That is my one point. And has hit us very badly. Now the requirement is tagged onto 3 city audit report. We are a chartered account very poor fellows. How can we ignore that reporting? We have to quantify what is the chart where the MSCA payment is delayed or not paid within the particular time frame given in the 43B. We have no other option except to take annexure and annex it to the CA 3CP audit report and sign it and send it. So this is a very precarious matter for us. Question would be now election is coming on and all white collar people only are voting NDA and the present government. I am not be sure whether I should mention or not, but it should have been deferred for another 1 year. First step is collect the registry of the MSME who have got Udyam Aadhaar and the MSME certificate. That is the time you have to give, so that we will get the MSME certificate or Udyam Aadhaar. After 1 year, definitely we will get a database. Then we can impose this particular section 43B. Otherwise, no, every trader, every MSME fellow is approaching chartered accountants. We are also helpless. Law has come, we are bound to follow it. That is one part of the story, sir. Second part of the story is debtors. They are taking 60 days, 90 days to 120 days. If you go and ask, there is a creditors payment, they will say, you take this money, but I will not accept any of your orders next time. They will not place the indent. And if I go and serve a legal notice, for example, I can say very proudly or whatever, Kirloskar Electric Company, if anybody issues a legal notice, he will be debarred in getting the orders. I think our Ramesh Patil knows very well. If anybody goes to legal notice recourse, he is that company is debarred in applying for any tenders. If this is the revenge happening in practically, how we are really saved? So I would urge our principals here to take it on priority. We will definitely submit a memorandum. Okay. Third and the last point I would like to mention. Now we are living in the heap of information. Every now and then information is coming because most of the information is loaded on the PAN. But taxpayers, unfortunately, they are not online in the income tax portal. It's only chartered accountants and the tax advocates, they are online. And it is coming by the moment he receives, he means taxpayer, and he upload it to our mobile or WhatsApp. The due date given is getting over. 10 days, 7 days, 5 days. This is very harsh, in my opinion. Supreme Court, n number of times they have told at least a reasonable opportunity should be given for compliance. What is reasonable, they have defined in many judgments. It may be 3 weeks, or it may be 4 weeks, or it may be at least 2 weeks. But now they are giving 5 days, 3 days, 7 days. By the time I look into, already the due date must have been got over. I would again go for seeking adjournment and all. So this is all a technical issue, I do agree. I don't think you have any role on that. But as behalf of the traders, they are hard hit. I would urge our principals here to take it forward. And a very important point, sir has told, 38% of the total tax is paid in self-assessment. So I think we chartered accountants and all taxpayers should take it very responsibly. And we have to see that advance tax is paid before 31st March. Sir has not highlighted one important point, which is a bonanza to us. There is a provision to levy equal penalty when the self-assessment tax is paid. Am I right, sir? So that penal provision, nobody is using it because of it is benevolent in nature. We take shelter on that. So I would urge all the traders to see that 95% of the tax is paid before 31st March. And I assure you, sir, we can take that one to all of our taxpayers and do the needful. Thank you very much.
Last one question we can pick up. This.
I'm not aware he can give my headquarters. Please come.
Regarding the VS grievance, I would like to say that it was pending due to the not regular PCI posted. But at the headquarters, when I joined, there was more than 300 south by page. Under the guidance of then PCI, it was issued in all the cases and OG order giving effect was given. If any technical issue you are not getting it, our range head is special success is there. So we have got the report from all the assessing officers of order giving effect to all VS cases in Form 5 issue. If any such cases are proceeding, it has not been brought to the notice of the PCIT till now. Since last year, 1 year, 1.5 years, I am there in the headquarters. So, sir, I would like to request to kindly address the grievance to Joint Commissioner Energy also there. And yes, sir, we will certainly take the issue and concerned assessing officer. And regarding other issues, sir will take.
Regarding your 43B suggestions, I would say that more of a taxation issue is a political issue also. In our channel, certainly we will be compiling it and sending it to you. But I request that even you can take it at the level of the political thing also, because it's not all over India. This thing is problematic, I know. So on that level also you can take it up. On our level, certainly we will, with our own recommendation, we will sending it to the board. And regarding the advance tax and penalty, normally we don't recourse to that 210 notices and then issuing the penalties. We are well aware of that notices. But we don't resorting to those things. Apart from that, once we issue 210, we necessarily close it either by accepting the computations, and if not there, then we have to impose the penalty. So that is why we are not going to this 210 notices. And even if suppose after issuing 210 notice, assessing gives some computation, and even if advance tax of 10 rupees is paid, we cannot levy that penalty. That is also there. So, and regarding this due date of reasonable opportunity, I agree that in some case we are unreasonable. I accept it. Even being a frank admission, in one case where they wanted centralization for that is getting time barred in 31st March. They want that 127 to be passed immediately. 127, I have to pass it. Now I have time, how much time I can give it so that after 127, incorporating the assessor's reply at 31st March, which has got, snowball effect. This may not be for the one point of year, but certainly I will try to emphasize all the our officers that at this reasonable opportunity to be given.
We can take another.
One question.
We can take another one. Short question.
Technical question.
Good evening to everybody. This question is referring to the TDS. In many cases, among our claims, we are informed that the TDS is directed, sir, and is not deposited to the government fund. Particularly by the government authorities and the quasi-government authorities, municipalities or secretaries, even the KNM, state government sometimes. So, particularly in respect of contractors, these deductions are made and they have kept it with them, not deposited to the government. That is number one. Number two, even it is uploaded, they are not ready to upload the forms also. They are not ready to upload the returns from time to time, quarterly return. So the thing is, the amount from the contractors is deducted and kept with them and not deposited. Such contractors are coming to us, and what is the remedy for us? What is the remedy for us? They are keeping, and most of them are government authorities. They can't go against them. They cannot issue the legal notice or something like that. I think some measures should be taken by the TDS department for such cases, because all such SSCs are not in a position to appeal to the internal department for each and every time. I think this is a very crucial issue. The government money is being utilized by them, and they are not touched or they are not penalized from time to time. So this is one of the areas we have to take some action. And the contractors are totally having no remedy to get their money created and kept with them. I think this is one of the things, serious matters. And this is being continuously made as habit by some of the departments. Habitual non-depositing of this amount directly keeping with. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the question. There is definitely a solution for this problem. Generally, the director has to, after deducting the TDS, he has to deposit to the government account within the stipulated time. That is, if he is deducted in the month of February, he has to deposit to or credit to the government account by March 7th. So the due date is 7th of every month. And in the last one, that is in the month of March, he has to credit to the government account by 30th of April. So these are the due dates. And every quarter, the deductor has to file the TDS return, reflecting all the transactions he has undertaken and the TDS deducted and the details of the deductees to whom this credit has to be given. So the deductor, after deducting TDS, he has to file the TDS return, and after filing the TDS return, he has to issue the form number 16. It is mandatory. It is not optional to any of the deductors. So he has to issue the form number 16 or 16A, and the deductee can emphasize to issue the form number 16 or 16A within due time. And if the deductor is not ready to issue it, then please bring to the notice of the department. We would issue the letter to the deductor and ask him the reason why he has not issued this form number 16 or 16A. And we would seek the response and would request him to issue immediately. And if any fine or any penalty has to be raised, we will definitely raise it up basis. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Huge amount.
I will like to add it that I was there in as a CIT TDS Bangalore just prior to coming to this place. We have as you must be aware that there are two aspects. One is TDS deduction and other one after deduction paying to the government account. And the other one is non-deduction of TDS. One is non-deduction and other one is deduction and payment to government account. The provision for deduction of TDS and after that not payment to government account, there is no penalty. Only interest is there and after that prosecution. In Bangalore, we have launched around 190 prosecutions. When TDS is not deducted, then there is no express provision for prosecution. But this thing where there is deducted, the government thinks that either this money which you have deducted is that of the deductees or the government. It's not doesn't belong to the company or the deductor as such. So the provision is quite stringent on this aspect where this deductor and not paid to government account and statement is not filed. So please bring to the notice. Certainly JCIT TDS will take into account and straight away after the interest there is a penalty. I mean there is prosecution, no penalty. So these aspects to bring to notice. Certainly they will take into account.
Thank you. We can take one last question from Mr. Oswal.
Good evening, sir. This is in respect of the cases which has been finalized by the Central Circle. Central Circle assessment is completed and the file is transferred to the regular jurisdiction line, ACIT or ITO. Now, the books which were seized, the materials which were seized is still lying with the Central Circle. In spite of our request to the Central Circle that please release our materials, there is no tax due. Now, who should contact for the release of the things? Because now the PAN is with the regular jurisdiction, but the material is with the Central Circle. So, please give me a solution for that.
Thank you, sir.
Certainly, case to case, we can discuss these things, but as such, it has to be released technically. The Central Circle should have transferred the seized material to the assessing officer, and then assessing officer will release it. This is how it is. It is the process as such how it is. If such thing is there, what the assessing officer is telling that the seized material has not come to him. If that is the case, certainly we will take it up the matter with DG, because central circle comes with DG, it doesn't come under my jurisdiction.
I know.
So wherever you are bringing to my notice, I will directly write to DG to send the seed material.
So what has happened is, sir, we have filed a CP gram also for this. That information went back to the central circle. Central circle is saying now I've got taken the permission from my joint commissioner and DG to release the books. So it's just going on for the past 2 years.
I will,
This is happening.
I will certainly kindly bring to my notice, I will discuss with the DG or the DI concerned. And also to the central, Mr. Bidring is there, CIT, principal CIT central, I will discuss with him. You can personally bring to my notice, or your old correspondence, certainly, I will try to get it done within a fortnight or so.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your active participation. There were several issues, several grievances. In fact, as far as the ATP is concerned and 44 AD is concerned, several advantages of the taxpayers have been taken off from the government. But we don't want to flood with our grievances, the Honorable Commissioner, as soon as he taken over the reins of public. So we will take some other time to submit you in a formal way, sir. And
Sir, one meeting with the CPCs
CPC.
is very important.
We are also.
Lot of problems.
We are also.
Yeah.
We also.
What happens is there is no coordination between the department and the CPC also. Let alone SSCs.
Yeah, that's how we can probably take it forward, sir. Thank you for your outreach program. I wish the industry and trade grows multifold and your targets overshot by several number of times in the days to come after more office as a CIT Hubli branch. Thanks for the opportunity given. Thank you, Karthik. Please take it over back.
Thank you, sir. I now request CA Vinay Kulkarni sir to present the vote of thanks. So before we come to the vote of thanks, I request President SP Saushimar sir to present us memento to today's one more speaker, Shri KCC&I.
Sorry. So, good evening. We are at the fag end of the function. It is a vote of thanks. It is said, state is the mightiest institution that is created by the human being. And the mightiest institution represent ಮಾಡುವಂತ Principal Commissioner Arun Kumar sir ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯ. Thank you, Commissioner sir. And the way the frankly he accepted his limitations, the encouraging words he told to us, it's really fantastic. Once again, thank you from bottom of our heart, sir. I also thank the joint commissioners, deputy commissioners, assistant income tax officers, other staff of the income tax department for making this function to happen. We thank all of you, sir. I thank KCC&I Naik sir for explaining TDS provisions in a non-TDS way. So thank you very much, sir. And I thank the chamber and its administration, support staff, and the direct access committee for making this arrangement to interact with the other part of the coin. So when we actually interact, we come to know each other's expectations, limitations, difficulties, so that we can overcome. Instead of talking about the difficulties and limitations, once we better understand each other's difficulties, it is better to, we can have a solution to overcome those difficulties. Thank you, Chamber, for organizing this function. We thank all the participants, though not in a large number, but in a reasonably good number for taking participation, chartered accountants, taxpayers, industrial aids, and other innovators. And any function will not happen only because of few people. There are a lot of people who contribute for the success of this function, including high key providers. We thank all those who have contributed to the success of this function. Thank you very much.
Very nice. Very informative.